session is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sir.
Is there any disturbance?
So there is an interference. Sir, kindly check it.
1 second, 1 second. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, are you able to see my desktop better?
Visible, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Srinivasan, coordinator of FDC cell, and Ms. Indija for the kind words about me. So, thank you for this opportunity to speak on this occasion of 6 days FDP, and today's topic quality education, accreditation, and teacher development. So, the good quality education is the one that provides all learners with capabilities they require to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihood, and contribute to the peaceful and democratic societies, and enhance individual well-being. So this is the technical definition for a quality education, which is expected to give inclusive and quality education and promote lifelong learning experience to the students, and improve their literacy skills, to develop their social skills, and make them model citizens to contribute to the society, as well as they can contribute to themselves and the society as well. So within these 5 years, 5 to 10 years, there is a great development towards the quality education, and after 40 years or 45 years, we have revamped our education policy, and we have developed, the present government has developed a National Education Policy 2020 to promote the quality education in India. So, this quality development or quality education in higher educational institution is a long-term process where the results can be experienced or felt only after 15 years or 20 years. I happened to talk to one of the person who is involved in this NAP, closely associated with the formulation of this NAP. So he used to tell me, like, it will take at least 20 years to get the impact of the present NAP policy, which means that a student who is enrolled from the primary level, school level, until he or she completes the education, then only we can say that the new education policy has been come into existence. So there is the technical side of it. So quality education is the motto of any or every institution which offers undergraduation or post-graduation, and every institution tries to give the quality education. But in the current scenario, there is a great demand for the students who comes out with the quality education. So it is a time to rethink and revamp the education pattern or structures to find out whether really we are producing the quality candidates or quality students who can contribute. Let us move on to the next one. So why quality education? If we want to change a society, so these are the famous words by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So if you want to change the society, if you want to change a country, or if you want to change the whole world, the only possible way it can be done through the education, that too not in overnight. So it will take a minimum of 15 or 20 years where you have to educate a student from the school level till undergraduation or post-graduation. You have to mold them, you have to make them a good citizen, a model citizen, then only it is possible. But changing the society is possible only through the process of education. Unless otherwise we create awareness and educate them regarding the social responsibilities or environmental responsibilities, that is possible only through the process of education. At the same time, you cannot expect the responsibilities regarding social skills or environmental skills and the responsibilities from the person who is not able to understand. So that is where the education plays an important role. So it is expected that every individual who comes through this quality education will be able to guide the society by educating their parents or educating their relatives, educating the society. So this is how we can change the society and turn the world. So why quality education? Why we are, especially in the past 4 or 5 years, we are talking about quality education, and the government is taking a lot of initiatives and provides funding to so many higher educational institutions to promote the quality education. Because India has a rich heritage in the area of education. If we look into the educational background of India, it is known for its excellence. Even before 1,000 years, 1,500 years, even 2,000 years, we might have studied about our very famous Indian universities, Nalanda University, Takshila University. So we have a rich heritage in educational system. But unfortunately, if you look into the statistics which is displayed on this top right, you can see this is the ranking of top 500 universities, world universities, where you can see not even a single university is ranked within this 250. So here you can see this is the top 5 universities for the year 2020 and 19. University of Oxford tops the ranking 1, and California Institute of Technology 2nd, University of Cambridge 3rd, Stanford University 4th, and MIT 5th. So if we look into the Indian universities, only the IITs are placed within this 500 rankings, but even then these are not able to get placed below 251, and this Bangalore, IIT Bangalore, which has dropped, which is the leading university in India, also has dropped 50 places compared to the previous years. So this is the current scenario. So this is where the concern starts. and it is time for us to think whether the country with such a rich heritage is lacking in this educational system. So it is time for us to revamp and restructure the system and to produce the quality education. And the second one, it is by a famous word, Siddharth Barwar, Vice President of Jetting Information Limited. So after he gave an interview, the lack of ability of individual to deliver his views effectively at the interview leads to rejection of even the most brilliant candidate. This is because training institutes do not make an effort to ensure that the candidates develop their skills in a wholesome manner, which can contribute towards client handling and team communication skills, which means that even they are good at their subjects, they might not be able to get placed because they are either lacking communication skills or they are not trained properly to handle the interview. So this is the current scenario regarding the quality of the students. And if you see the next picture, you can see the education ladder, and they are moving upwards in the education ladder, but when it comes to the job, they are not able to get placed. If you look into the past 20 or 25 years, between 95 to 2005 or 2010, there is a great boom in IT sector where almost all the engineering colleges are able to place students in IT sector irrespective of their discipline or domain. But after 2015, there is a great shift, and the IT sector has reached the saturation point where the engineering colleges are not able to provide job opportunities or placement to the students who are enrolled. That is where the quality comes in, and there is a great shift of student enrollment from engineering colleges towards arts and science colleges. But still, if we look at placement as a scenario as a whole, then again there is a problem, because the number of students enrolled does not match with the number of students who get placements. It's because we are failing in producing the quality. So all these are the reasons why we are concentrating and we are concerned about the quality education. And today we are going to see about how what are the problems we have in providing quality education, and what are the opportunities available for improvement or development, and what are the challenges we in the sense the higher educational institutions are facing towards providing the quality education. So this is a data by Ministry of Human Resource Development and UGC, released in the year 2011, December 2011, where you can see the growth of higher educational institutions in India starting from 1950. This is an old data which is taken in 2011, where you can see 33,023 colleges and 634 universities, and as on 2019, there are 40,000 colleges and 664 universities are in current in the year of 2019. So imagine the number of colleges and number of universities in India, the number of students who complete their undergraduation or post-graduation or research degrees like MPhil and PhD, and what are the job opportunities available for them, and whether they complete their undergraduation or post-graduation with a degree, and are they able to get a job is of concern. Now the problem is because the unemployment problem in India is because not because there are lack of opportunities, but lack of skills. Majority of the students who come out with undergraduation or post-graduation, as we have seen earlier, they are not able to get through the interview process because these students, they are not able to communicate properly or express their views properly. So they lack their skills, irrespective whether they are good at their subject domain. They are not able to handle the clients, especially when it comes to the point of interaction. So they might not be able to convince the clients or the customers. So that is the drawback in the current system. So there is a need for change in the pattern of education so that we can uh, make every student to get skilled and to get placed. So there are so many hurdles in this thing for providing quality education. And let us see the outcomes of the quality education. So the main outcomes or the expected results for providing a quality education is making students into socially responsible persons, and all the institutions are trying to mold the students, that is the learners, into a model citizens where in future they might become a role model to the next generation so that they can follow their footsteps in contributing to the society as well as to the nation. And every institution is trying to provide an environment where placement is ready, and each institution trying to produce the quality research who can contribute to the field of research, and in turn contributing to the society. So these are the least expected outcome of the quality education. How we are achieving is a problem, but all these points are expected to be the outcomes of the quality education. So measurement of the quality education and its outcomes. So any system or any process is measured in terms of benefits, or how productive it is, and what are the benefits we are getting out of it. So in majority of the institutions, especially in higher educational institutions, the outcome of this quality education is measured in terms of percentage of placement. How many students are enrolled and how many students are placed at the time of completing their graduation or undergraduation or post graduation. So this is a simple calculation to find out whether the institution, especially higher educational institutions, are functioning actively, and the percentage of students who are going to higher education, whether the institution or organization is able to inculcate research culture, and is it possible for the institution to promote the research culture among the students and motivate them to take a career in the research, and how many students are becoming entrepreneurs, and how many startups are started by the students who have completed undergraduation or post-graduation. So all these are the measurements of quality education and its outcomes. So in simple terms, the percentage of placement decides the quality of achievement of an institution, because it is expected that every student, whoever is enrolled or admitted in the institution, is expected to get a job at the completion of their degree. So these are the measures or the criteria is considered for the measurement of the quality education outcomes. Here you can see This is a picture taken from Times of India, where you can see the campus recruitment. The data shows the campus recruitment conducted in IIT Bombay, Madras, Kharagpur, Delhi, and Roorkee. And the students out of 1,660, 1,350 in Madras. So all these statistics the students have attended. And if you look into the three students who got their annual salary 1.42 crore given by Facebook. Three of the students, they got same kind of package from Facebook. So this is happening only in IITs. The two, we look into IITs as top universities or top colleges where we look them with awe. But if you look into the number of students enrolled in IIT, for any IIT for that matter, the number of students enrolled and the number of students who get placements at the end of their undergraduate or post-graduation is decreasing gradually, it is declining. It is because even in these universities, making the students to get 100% placements as becoming a problem. That is what we have to understand from this. So this is the scenario, current scenario regarding the placements in India, because the quality standard of higher education has to be improved in future. So that is why the government is taking a lot of initiatives to overcome these placements. Not only the placements, it is expected to create more opportunities for entrepreneurs, and funding is provided to start the startups by the government, especially for the past 2 or 3 years. If we are looking to the initiatives of the government, it mainly focuses on the students level, where even you might have heard about this hackathons or ideathons. So all these are initiatives to promote the innovations and to ignite the young minds, to ignite their creativity, to make them to come up with the ideas. There are so many fundings available for the students who come up with the ideas, where you can start new startups. If we look into a couple of weeks back, there is a new electric scooter is going to release, and the booking was done in the last week. I think it's 10 days back. Within half an hour, like nearly 2.5 lakh vehicles has been booked within 30 minutes. It was started by it was going to manufactured by new startup. So the government is funding to such initiatives to promoting Make in India and Made in India products by funding the entrepreneurs who can come up with new ideas to start the business they are funding. So it is time for us to motivate the students, especially the final year students, either in the undergraduation or the post graduation, to make use of these funding opportunities so that they can come up in life as well as they can contribute to the nation as well. And what are the challenges in providing the quality education? So far, we have seen the reasons why we have to go for quality educations, and to promote or to provide quality education, there are a lot of hurdles and a lot of barriers. For example, quality of teachers. So the quality of teachers, is directly proportional to the quality of the education or the outcome of the education, which means that the outcome depends on the quality of the teachers. Because recently the University Grants Commission has given guidelines for example, minimum eligibility criteria to become a teacher in higher education institution is either post graduation with NET or SET or PhD has become mandatory. Maybe in future, within the next 2 or 3 years, it might become and it will be implemented. But if we look into as a whole, the quality of teachers is not as expected. The poor quality of the teacher and the poor quality of learners are the major constraints in providing the quality education, because the students are from different backgrounds, economical background, educational background, and even different system of educational systems like CBSE, State Board, Matriculation Board, and the communication level of the students might be a barrier for their getting skilled, and the higher education institutions might not be able to provide infrastructure facilities to the students and the teachers to provide the quality education. And if shifting of teaching methodologies, if we look into the past 25 years or 30 years, the teaching mechanism has gradually changed from a conventional chalk and talk method or board method. Then it has become the lecturing system where one-way communication of a faculty who's giving lecture on the syllabus or the topic. Then later we have adopted this outcome-based education and CBCS pattern where much choice is given to the students to take up the courses of their choice. Then we have given then all of a sudden, due to this pandemic, instead of physical classes, we have we are forced to move to the online teaching learning process, where it is difficult for the teachers to handle the students because we are not used to it. It is observed that a majority of the teachers who are not technically strong in the technology updation has suffered, and now the entire teaching learning process has gone online, and there is a lot of problems and difficulties in handling the online classes. So all these are the challenges in providing quality education, the assessment process and practices, and the job market and placement is a major concern, and industry-oriented research and innovation is lacking in majority of the institution, which plays a major role or a reason for the institutions not able to provide quality candidates or the candidates which is needed for the industry. And the inadequate financial support is also a major reasons in self-financing colleges or private colleges. They are not able to provide sufficient financial support, and gross enrollment ratio is also coming down. If we look into the enrollment percentage of students for the past 2 years, especially after pandemic, there is a huge number of dropouts in the student enrollment. So all these are the major concerns and challenges in providing quality education. So to provide the quality educations, we have to come over all these problems or the challenges. which has to be sorted out for providing the quality education. And there are opportunities for development, and we can improve the system of education, and the opportunities like implementing need-based curriculum for national and global level, especially the autonomous institutions are able to provide their own curriculum. So especially need-based curriculum that has to be prepared suitable for national level and global level, where we can train the students to open market where they'll get placed in national level or global level, and also they can compete with the students who come out of IIT or any other established institutions. And improving the quality of teaching and learning process is the important factor which is going to determine the quality education, because the teaching and learning process is the door for the quality to any of the higher educational institution, because the performance of the institution really depends on the teaching and learning process. And the funding for infrastructure and infrastructure development and augmentation is really necessary, and the institutions should apply for this infrastructure development. I mean, funding from the agencies for the infrastructure development. For example, the institutions can go for a FIST, Fund for Infrastructure Development in Science and Technologies Department, or DST, DBT. There are so many funding agencies which funds for promoting science in the higher educational institutions, not only for buying equipments, also they are funding for doing the basic research. And the institutions should try to collaborate with the leading higher educational institutions and industries by signing MOUs. They can join hand with these industries so that the industries can invite it to the institution, and understanding the expectations of the industry and incorporating and implementing those curriculum, those expectations in the curriculum is important to prepare the candidates for industrial expectations. So all these areas where we have to concentrate, and we have to implement these things, then definitely the institution can give a quality education in terms of placement, as well as by placing the students not only at the national level, even they can place at the global level. So all these are the opportunities for quality education. And we move on to the next one, the purpose of accreditation. So irrespective of the agencies of accreditation, for example, there are several accrediting agencies like NBA, NAC, or AICTE, UGC, different accreditation process. But the real purpose of accreditation is not ranking the institutions or higher educational institutions, but it is a way of ensuring whether the higher educational institutions are able to provide the basic or minimum quality standards, whether they are maintaining this minimum standards or quality standards, and whether the institutions are sustaining the quality. So going for an accreditation is like a planting a tree. For example, maybe the benefits of tree might not be visible within immediately, but in due course of time, like after 5 years or 10 years, definitely we can reap the benefits of planting tree. Likewise, accreditation, we cannot expect the benefits of accreditation immediately, but definitely if we are able to implement all the ideas or concepts given in the, especially in the NAC accreditation, then definitely after 5 years, there will be a change in the functioning of the institution, and after 10 years definitely there will be a huge change might be seen in terms of quality as well as in terms of achieving goals. So from my point of view personally, I feel the purpose of accreditation is it's a way of ensuring the standards but not ranking the institutions. Even if we look into the NAAC accreditation process, during the process we will submit a self-study report. It is not a report where you compare your institution with your neighboring institutions or to your competitors, but your own institutions. So that is why it is named as self-study report. Just we are assessing our own strengths and weakness. So we'll find where we are and what are the areas we have to improve. So that is why the accreditation is important, and it comes to when it comes to the process of accreditation and ensuring the minimum quality standards and sustaining those quality might help the institutions to achieve better and reach its milestones and goals. And these are some accrediting agencies. If you look into all these accreditation process, especially if you go through the manual of any of these accrediting agencies, you will come up with questionnaires which carries whether the basic standards are met out in the institution. So I see this accreditation process as it's not a ranking, but it's a checking mechanism where it ensures the institutions are giving a quality education. And this is a data taken in the year 2020, where you can see grading pattern. So out of 1,451 colleges and 72 universities, they have categorized based on their rank. If you see, this is that statistics of February 2020, and after that there are several institutions have gone for accreditation. So there are 19% of the higher educational institutions are not accredited or C level, and for B, 507 higher educational institutions, that is 33.3%, and B plus 17.8%, 271 HEAs, and D 24 higher educational institutions, and B plus plus 14.3, that is 218, and A grade 132, that is 8.7%, A plus 4.5% and 68 HEAs, A plus plus 0.9%, and 13 HEAs have gone for A plus plus 19. So if you look into the accreditation process of NAAC, which started in the 90s or 95, the majority of the institutions which are well established and which we believe are top institutions, now they have gone to this accreditation process very early. That is, the institutions which might be in this category of A plus plus or A plus might be definitely they will be in the, either in the third cycle or fourth cycle. So this is the benefit of going for accreditation. So I believe, personally, I believe the institutions, all these 100 institutions might be, they have gone for this accreditation process very early. They have implemented entire guidelines of the NAAC, and now they are enjoying the benefits, and now they are able to collect the fruits what they have planted some 20 years back or 15 years back. So this is the a benefit of accreditation. So if we are able to, if any of the higher educational institutions are able to implement whatever is given in those 7 criteria, it will really help them to achieve so many things, because the entire 7 criteria cover almost all the functions of an institution, all the stakeholders of the institution, and all the quality aspects of the institution. And even if we are able to achieve a minimum benchmark, what is expected in the NAC accreditation process, we might be able to get A or A plus. So these are the benefits of the accreditation, and majority of the institutions are in a dilemma within this 5 years or 10 years whether to go for accreditation process or not. But now the accreditation has become mandatory, and every institution, higher educational institution, irrespective of the domain which a type of subject they offer, like engineering or medical or standalone B schools or arts and science colleges, irrespective of their domain, they have to go for the accreditation process. So again, the accreditation is not to rank the institution or the university, but to ensure that the minimum quality standards are met out by the institutions. So this is the expectation of the accreditation. And as I have already mentioned, the benefits of the accreditation, if we go for, even if we start preparing for the accreditation process, we might be able to understand the strength, weakness, opportunities and challenges of our institution, and identifying the areas where budget allocation is needed. So this is because we might be able to understand like where we are lacking, whether there is any shortcomings. If there is any shortcoming, we can allocate a particular amount to improve that facility. For example, if it is library or if it is IT infrastructure, and if any other area is need to be improved, the beginning of the academic year, we can allocate budget for that. And maintaining quality standards is a benefit of accreditation, and implementing latest technology and curriculum and identity to the institution. So if we are ranked, if we are able to score A++ or in terms of 3.5, 512, 3.75 or 3.83, it become an identity to the institution, where the other institutions might be able to locate us, or they will try to find out like what are the best practices we are following, what are the practices we have implemented in the quality for the improvement of the quality, and all these things will come into limelight, because there are only very few colleges. If you look into the old data, only 13 institutions in India has got A++. That is 2019 data, but recently, like to my knowledge, there are another 5 or 6 colleges. They have scored more than 3.5, that is A++. So by at least for a curiosity, we will go through their website, we will search the data regarding the institution to find out like what are the new things they have implemented it, and how well, how the institution is functioning well. And we'll try to interact with them, we'll invite them as a resource persons to understand the quality parameters they have implemented. And even the employers look for quality education, especially in terms of skill sets of the students. So it is beneficial to the students as well. And industry institution interactions will takes place once we go for accreditation process, because industry and institution interaction is mandatory. And all these are the benefits of the accreditation, which whether knowingly or unknowingly, we have to go for do it for the accreditation process. Once we start going for this accreditation, then we will understand the importance of all these points. So the other side of beneficiaries of accreditation is if we look into the stakeholders of any higher educational institutions, the direct beneficiaries or the immediate beneficiaries are the students and teachers. And in turn, indirectly, the employers and the institution also gain benefits, but the immediate beneficiaries are the students and teachers, where the students are able to develop their skills. They have been molded by the teachers and the institution to become best in the job market so that they will get placed. And the next beneficiaries are the teachers, because as I already said, the quality of teacher is directly proportional to the teaching learning process or the outcomes of the quality education. So the teachers are forced to take up certain things which becomes mandatory when we go for accreditation. That I'll discuss in the next chapter. So these are the real beneficiaries, that is the students and teachers, because of this accreditation process. And role of challenges, role of IQAC in HEIs. If you look into any of an accredited institutions which is scoring an A grade or A plus or A plus plus, you can see a very good internal quality assurance system and cell will be there. The IQAC is important and inevitable part of the higher educational institutions, which is responsible for quality initiatives and implementation of all these quality initiatives or systems in an higher educational institutions, and it monitors the implementation and the progress of any system or any process, and it is documenting it. So IQAC has a very important and critical role in higher educational institutions in terms of quality and also sustaining quality. In any institutions, vibrant institutions, if you look into the system, definitely there will be a role for IQAC. When this IQAC is functioning or it's very active, then the institution will become vibrant. The role of coordinator is also very critical and important, because the coordinator has to update the recent developments in the quality aspects, as also the accreditation process, and regularly participating in the events pertaining to the quality, so that understanding the quality initiatives in other institutions, as well as contributions from the NAC or other bodies. And challenges in accreditation, it is a continuous process, because we cannot claim it is a best practice or it's a quality of the institutions or distinctness of the institutions in 1 or 2 months. It is a continuous process. At least we need 3 or 4 years, and the accreditation process runs for 5 years. 5 years once. So all these 5 years, there should be continuing the quality process or aspects, and it is a difficult task maintaining all the quality process and the benchmarking. Once we achieve the benchmark, and when we move for the next cycle, then the benchmarks will increase, and we are forced to achieve or reach the milestones, and updating quality standards and institutions take a lot of time, and implementing and getting benefits out of it is a difficult task, and also the human resources for the implementing activities and maintaining documents, all these are difficult task and needs a lot of human resource, and the funding opportunities for infrastructure development or basic research or maintaining the infrastructure facilities are challenging in higher educational institutions, especially when it comes to the external funding agencies or government funding agencies. It is a huge task, and getting funding opportunities is very, very difficult. So all these are the challenges in accreditation process. And the last one is the teacher development. So the quality of a good teacher it is expected that the teacher should be a good communicator, a good listener, good creativity, and adaptability and patience. All these are the expectations or the qualities of a good teacher. But all these expectations are very old, and in the changing scenario, the quality of a good teacher is also changes. And if you look into the old system, conventional method, the teacher will use the chalk and talk method or blackboard for teaching purpose. And later we move to student-centric methods by implementing so many different teaching methodologies like role plays or group discussions, debates, and conducting competitions, drama and all. And now we, especially after this 2019, the entire teaching learning process is into online process, and the future it is difficult to predict. We don't know whether the same will continue for next 2 or 3 years, or the normal physical classes will come into existence, that we don't know. So that is the present scenario, and this is the stage or status of the present teacher multitasking. So probably you all know about what is a multitasking. A person with 4 or 5 different tasks to complete the same time. For example, research, academics. Not only when I was doing my post graduation, my professors used to tell me like there is nothing other than taking class, but the scenario is totally different, and the teachers are expected to contribute in research, academics. We have to write proposals, we have to conduct activities, we have to be part of the activities, we have to attend faculty development programs or club events, and we have to contribute in terms of publications. We have to come up with innovations and creativity. We have to develop patents. We have to write books. We have to try for awards. So, it is a multitasking for the teachers right now, where we cannot say like I cannot contribute, or I will not write proposals, or I cannot do publications. So it is expected that even in the accreditation process, it is expected that every teacher should contribute in terms of publication, writing, getting projects, attending events. In short, we have to develop, each teacher has to develop their own professional as well as personal standards, and the challenges are minimum qualification standards has changed, and it is expected that the minimum qualification for teachers has been PhD or a PG with letter set. So majority of the teachers, especially the freshers, they have joined services without completing a PhD or NET or SET. So it will be better to complete either their PhD or to clear the NET or SET examinations in near future. Probably if they don't complete these things, there is a chance for getting replaced, and updating subject, not only subject but technology is also needed. It's a need of our, because if we are good in subject, that is not alone considered, because since we are teaching through online, we should be knowing the latest technologies, incorporating the tools in the teaching process. Teaching learning process is expected, and also all the teachers are expected to contribute in the academics, research, student development, and applying for personal, individual and project funding, and professional development, like attending faculty development programs or training programs, workshops, doing online courses, like courses like MOOC or SWAYAM to improve our skill sets and competency, and not only in the professional, and also it is a multitasking, because we have to develop professionally as well as personal life conflicts as well. So all these are challenges faced by the teachers, and there are opportunities also to develop ourselves by participating in programs like faculty development programs or refresher courses. There are SWAYAM courses, MOOCs courses for improvement of our quality and skills. And there are so many funding agencies like DST, DPT, ICMR, OILS, UGC, and AICTE for individual and also for research funding. Not only for individual and basic research, but also we can apply for institution for the infrastructure development, and there is a chance for contributing by writing books and publishing research articles in the journals, and we can help the student development, or also we can make our career in the area of student development, and all these are not what we are going to contribute to the institution for, but for our own development. So these are the opportunities, and with this I'll conclude this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was the presentation. Now the session is open for discussion. Participants will have any please again now.